insane.
What is it like to be a small person in a big world?
I have something that everyone thinks is funny.
I can do the walk and everything. I'm good at it.
In this series, we'll reveal the most extreme.
This is an adrenaline rush.
The most dramatic. And the most surprising stories.
What happens at the Playboy Mansion stays at the Playboy Mansion.
From little people all across the globe.
I'm never gonna give up my dream. Your dream could come true at any given time.
Finding hidden communities and outrageous characters.
This is gonna be good.
It's time to see the world from a whole new level. Coming up, Charlie Too Tall West, the famous and fearless rodeo dwarf.
We're dealing with large farm animals with attitude.
He's been at the heart of the action for over 30 years.
Some are mean, some are nice, you know. Most of them are mean.
But now, it's decision time.
I had major back surgery. Kind of give me some issues every now and then.
Can he give up the rodeo before his body gives up on him? The 74-centimetre girl, one of just 200 in the world.
She's rare with a capital R. We've just not seen anything like this before.
Can her mother get the answers to the scientific puzzle behind this extraordinary condition?
It would definitely mean the world if we could get the answers to our questions.
And the Filipino man with a big idea, building an entire village for dwarfs.
This is the design for the shoe houses, as well as the other buildings.
In one day's time, his plan will be put to the vote. The result will change his life forever.
I'm a little nervous. I hope they like it.
And Cale Koenig, a man on a mission, working every hour he can.
You just work and work and work and just keep doing it.
But will it help him achieve the American dream?
Growing up, you don't realize why your parents are making you do all this hard work, but now it pays off.
Tyler Yates from Bakersfield. Grayson Hill from Lincoln. Derek Fiddles from Riverside.
The rodeo, a bruising battle between man and beast. It's America's Wild West love affair, where cowboys risk their lives riding a 900-kilo bull. And the only man standing between a stampeding animal and a fallen cowboy is 1'37" Charlie Too Tall West.
I'm the littlest man in the world that does what I do.
He spent a career as a barrelman.
He's the best that I've ever seen.
Now at 50, and after years of bruising encounters, who will finally catch up with Charlie? Will it be his age or a charging bull? Loomis, California. Its most famous resident is also its shortest.
My name, Charlie Too Tall West.
Hi, Too Tall. How you doing?
Hey, Pam. Professional rodeo clown / entertainer. Height, 4'6". Weight, 125 pounds. And that was the same weight I was in high school.
For the last 30 years, Charlie has been this rodeo's only dwarf entertainer and barrelman.
This whole crazy rodeo world business has got me famous. I'm the littlest man in the world that does what I do.
A barrelman's job is to distract a charging animal, giving a thrown cowboy vital seconds to escape. Standing in the way of a half-ton bull means Charlie's putting his body on the line every time he steps in front of one of these beasts. But hard knocks in rodeo has earned Charlie fame as the smallest cowboy in the West.
I'm fortunate enough, I've traveled, I've seen the world, I've been some great places, met some great people. It's been good.
Charlie's only defense against this testosterone terror is an aluminium barrel.
This is it, my barrel. Check it out. You can see the inside. Wow, it's padded. It still takes a beating. I mean, if you look here, look, there's a horn that got there and the bad boy. But, you know, it's just one of those things of the trade. Bulls are gonna hit it. It's a barrel. It's part of my life.
But Charlie's 50 and has a lifetime of bull-inflicted injuries. It's a constant battle these days just to keep himself fit for the rodeo ring.
I have to keep in shape. My job demands it. I've got to be physically fit. Sometimes you can get banged up pretty good in it. Being that I've been doing this 32 years, yeah, my body's starting to feel it. And when the rodeo's over the next day, yeah, you pay for it.
But Charlie's average-sized wife, Mitch, thinks a life dodging swinging horns and flailing hoofs has taken its toll on the world's smallest barrelman. And now, the pressure's on for him to quit.
The worst case is the rodeo coming up. Charlie could die or get very, very hurt. Well, his back's already hurt. He doesn't need to get any more hurt.
4 years ago, Charlie's spine was operated on to cure a crippling condition caused by his dwarfism, but made far worse by years in rodeo.
Every morning I get up, my body hurts more. Sucks. Sucks getting old.
It's time. There's a time to quit, and this is it.
But giving up is not going to be easy for Charlie. Rodeo's been in his blood since school.
I got involved and started riding calves and steers. They'd always put me on something because they knew I'd do it. Everybody else in school played football, baseball, basketball, all that kind of stuff. Rodeo guys, there was just a few of us. But we were respected. We did different things. We're dealing with large farm animals with attitudes. And tried to ride bulls. And that kind of went over bad because these little legs don't go around large farm animals very well. And so my friends finally said, hey, enough's enough. We don't want to see you get hurt.
And when Charlie couldn't ride anymore, he decided to do the next best thing.
Always talked to some people about being a clown barrel man. We were all back there one night and there was a barrel and they said, well, Charlie, either you get in that barrel or we're going to take you to the bus station. You can call your mommy and she can buy you a ticket home. Come on, Mom.
30 years later, and Charlie's still rolling out the barrels. Tomorrow night, he's got his next rodeo. And although Charlie's still addicted to the buzz, this rodeo show could be his last.
All right.
It's almost time to say goodbye. 32 years, my body is telling me, hey.
All right. All right, be
Love
careful.
You. I will. You be careful.
Still to come, it's rodeo time. 8 riders, 8 angry bulls. 1-meter-37 Charlie will once again step back into the ring and put his life on the line.
Them horns come around, they're like big baseball bats, and they break bones.
But how much more punishment can the world's smallest barrelman take before he's forced to quit? Meet Charlotte Garside. She's 6 years old, but stands just 74 centimeters tall and weighs not much more than a newborn baby.
Thank you. Say thank you.
Charlotte has one of the world's rarest forms of dwarfism. A condition with such severe health problems, she's lucky to be alive.
The rarity of Charlotte's condition is 1 in a billion.
So little is known about her dwarfism that her mum has no idea what the future holds.
Is there a reason why Charlotte can't speak? How tall she would grow? Is Charlotte going to have a limited life? We want her to be around forever. We don't want her to die.
But in a day's time, she has a meeting with a top scientist, which could unlock the mystery of Charlotte's disorder and provide much-needed answers.
Do you actually know what sort of life expectancy Charlotte will have?
Withernsea, North East England, an ordinary seaside town that's home to a truly remarkable little girl.
Little big girl.
Charlotte's height is only 2'5". She's definitely not more than half of the size of a normal 6-year-old.
Charlotte's super small because she has primordial dwarfism, and her particular type is only shared by about 8 known people in the whole world. Wherever she goes, her unique appearance attracts attention.
We've had reactions where people have stood there and gone, "Oh, have you seen that baby in that pram?" Or we'll get people pointing. Pointing's a good one.
But Charlotte's mum, Emma, is unfazed by people's reactions. She's just happy to have her daughter by her side, because it wasn't always clear that Charlotte would ever survive.
She was only £1.11, and she was about 8 inches long. Her head was the size of a small apple.
Unlike many other forms of dwarfism, primordials are undersized throughout pregnancy and are also born extremely small. Charlotte's particular form of primordial dwarfism is caused by a fault in a key gene. Called the ATR gene, it's essential for controlling and repairing DNA damage. Babies with such a serious defect rarely survive the first months of life. And doctors were so worried about Charlotte that she spent 13 weeks in special care and was in and out of hospital for the next 2 years.
It's weird to think that I've had 3 normal children and then I have this child that comes into the world that's so defenceless.
But Charlotte's astonished everyone by how she's developed.
People are extremely surprised when they see her get out of a pram and walk.
Oh, Bina's hand.
At one point, we didn't even think that she could walk, so her just doing walking in general is a big step. She can get hurt easily. She's not very robust, but she will fall over, pick herself up and carry on. Charlotte is a very, very enthusiastic type of person. You give her something, she'll try and do it.
Charlotte. Look.
Emma's been so impressed with Charlotte's progress, she's even sent her to a mainstream school.
When she's at school, her interaction with other children is really, really good. She thrives more off interaction off of children and playing with children than she does anything else.
While some of Charlotte's problems can be worked around,
Wait a minute, Mum will take it off.
she has difficulty eating food, so she's fed high-calorie milk straight into her stomach. But there are some issues that don't yet have a solution.
Charlotte's speech is very minimal at the minute. And yoghurt. I know everybody wishes the kids would talk and they can't wait for the day they do, but we've been waiting 6 years and we're still waiting for the day that she will come out and say, "Mummy, can I have a biscuit?" Mummy, feed you some. No. Why?
Whether or not Charlotte will grow anymore also worries Emma.
Because for me, she's too small. She does need to grow. She can't go through life being the size that she is because life is not built for people that size.
Is it too tight?
I'd like her to at least reach for 3 foot if we could, because 3 foot's better than 2'5".
Charlotte's form of dwarfism is so rare that up until now, doctors have been unable to discover how Charlotte's life will continue to develop.
Where are you going?
Finding information about Charlotte's condition has been really hard. It would definitely mean the world if we could get the answers to our questions. Definitely.
still to come. A meeting with a top genetics scientist. And the chance to solve the mystery of Charlotte's future. Manila, the capital of the Philippines. The most densely populated city in the world. Life here can be challenging. Even more challenging if you're only 1 meter tall. Perry Berry, though, thinks he has a solution. He wants to build a new village entirely for dwarfs.
Maging tourist attraction.
The village will become a tourist attraction because it will be built with shoe and mushroom-shaped houses.
Things like that.
Now it's crunch time. He needs to turn his dream into a reality.
Although we may be small people, our dreams and aspirations are big.
And that means his first big test. Can Perry persuade the dwarfs of Manila that this should be their new home?
Pagbubutuhan natin ito kung sino sa inyo ang itaas natin ang kanang kamay natin.
Manila. Like in many big cities, making a living is tough. In Manila, it's particularly tough. Filipino law requires a minimum height of 1.5 meters for many jobs, preventing dwarfs from working in the police, transport, construction, or even sales. Many dwarfs have to find other ways to survive. 57-year-old Perry Berry earns his living making and selling bags from recycled rubber at a roadside stall.
Being a small person in the Philippines is very hard. Life is tough for us. Even manual jobs such as driving or construction work, we cannot do. And when we go outside, sometimes it's unavoidable that people tease us. So that makes life even more difficult for us.
Existing in an average-sized world means you have to be enterprising. And throughout his life, Perry has been doing just that. He's even adapted parts of his house.
This is my chair. It's small, but it's okay. The light switch, it was really hard to use. So we moved it lower so we could reach it.
Now Perry's come up with a much grander design, and one that he thinks will change his life and the lives of all the city's dwarves for good. It's a new village, just for little people, with very unique styled houses. It'll be home for the dwarfs and bring in vital cash as a tourist attraction.
This is the design for the shoe houses as well as the other buildings. They will be an attraction for the tourists who visit the community.
This is the Hobbit House Bar. For the past 40 years, it's been the hub of Manila's small people.
Come on.
It's not just a place to meet, it's where many of them have found work. Pidoy has worked at the bar for 40 years and is now its general manager.
Talagang proud na proud kami.
We are proud of this place. Without it, where will we go? Where can we find jobs for people like us?
Saan kami maghanap ng trabaho dahil gagaya namin na maliit na tao.
When people like us apply for work at other companies,
Mag-apply kami sa ibang
we don't get
trabaho,
anywhere
kumpanya. Hindi
because of our height.
tanggap dahil dito ang aming sitwasyon.
The Philippines' law regulating workers' size has meant that for some dwarfs, the bar has been one of the few places to offer regular work.
I applied for a job in the department store, but I was rejected because they have a height minimum. Then I found the Hobbit House and I was so grateful to be accepted. I'm really glad I became part of it.
Taking inspiration from the success of the Hobbit Bar, Perry thinks he can go a step further. He's had a dream for all dwarfs to live together in a community and earn money from it. He's been working on his vision for 7 years, but he can't get it up and running alone. Now he's called a dwarf community meeting to get their crucial approval for his tourist attraction. Without their support, it could all be over. They'll study the plans and then return to vote on it.
Ito yung design na ito.
I'm about to show the design of the village to the members of the community.
Member ng community, medyo
I'm a little nervous. I hope they like it.
Magustuhan ng karamihan. Mga kapatid sa samahan, ang dahilan kung bakit andito tayo ngayon nagkakaipon-ipon, dahil ibig kong ipakita sa inyo itong ginawa ng isang arkitekto na disenyo para sa ating pinapangarap na maging community o village. Tingnan nyo itong mga plano natin na pinag-uusapan kanina. Ito yung kabuuan. So kailang tailored according sa height natin.
Mga sabi mo dito tayo magkaroon ng mga housing.
Ang nakaprograma na housing dyan, sa ngayon 47 families.
But the village of the dwarfs won't come cheap, and that's something that could impact the community vote.
Kuya, sino ang niyan magpapagawa ng mga bahay?
Totoo nito, ito nga ang ating inaano sa kanila kasi ang magpipinance nito, yun ang inaano natin, tinututukan natin, no? O Munit, tingnan mo rito, Munit. Nakita mo na ba ito, Girlie?
Maganda yan, maganda.
Perry's plan is firing up some of the members. People like Nestor, known as the Little Elvis, see an opportunity. But will the others agree?
Nagustuhan ko din yung sapatos.
I like the shoe house idea. It's better than the traditional kubu houses we live in.
Bibigyan kami pagkataon na kuwan ng
But we might ask the architect to make other styles too.
style para mapaganda.
Still to come. Perry gets to inspect the site for his fantasy micro village. But will it be a yes or a no when it's time to vote?
Ngayon, kung sino ang may gusto, itaas natin ang kanang kamay natin.
The American dream. It's about having a beautiful home, a fast car, and a match made in heaven.
I would like someone who is a true sweetheart.
None of this comes easy. And 1.27-meter Cale Koenig is having to work 24/7 to try and make it.
Growing up, you don't realize why your parents are making you do all this hard work, but now it pays off.
Being a dwarf hasn't stopped Cale from selling insurance, closing deals, and working the land. But will all this hard graft be enough to realize the American dream?
You just work and work and work and just keep doing it, and you're ready to die.
Pennsylvania, America. 8 a.m. and it's another day at the office for Cale Koenig. He's a salesman with people to call and commission to make.
Good morning, Karen.
Good morning, Cale.
Like millions of Americans, Cale wants to live the dream, and he isn't going to let his size get in the way.
Good morning, guys.
Hey, good morning, Cale.
I've been fairly successful in the insurance business. I won a cruise to Cozumel, Mexico, and I also won a trip to an all-inclusive resort in Cancun, Mexico. I wanted to let you know I got your policies. Everything finally transferred over, so the American dream is you work hard and you then eventually own your own home and have a family, and I feel that sales is one good career to make those steps into living the American dream. I'm happy. Are you happy? We're a little ways away from the American dream yet at this point. Good.
He might be way off, but nothing's going to stop Cale trying to get there.
Have a good night, man. Hey, take care.
No sooner is he clocking off from the office than he's swapping shirt and tie for boots and denim. And clocking back on for his second job. Cale grew up on a farm and helps run the family business. The Koenigs own 280 acres, but there's only him and his parents to work the land. Handling farm machinery isn't easy when you're just over a metre tall.
The equipment we use in farming can be very challenging for me to use. First of all, getting on the tractor. Everything in the world is made for people of average stature, so it's a challenge.
He's got just 2 hours to cut and bale hay in this entire field.
Cale's a very big help on the farm. The nicest part is that he can drive this tractor and, pull wagons and that kind of thing.
In fact, both our boys have thanked us for teaching them a good work ethic. It makes me feel good, makes me feel like I did my job.
It's exhausting. You're ready to die. I never slept so good as after a day of haying.
Up early the next morning, Cale's still working the farm. When he's not pulling ploughs, he's pumping shotguns and keeping crops free of profit-spoiling pests.
I can aim real well, I can shoot.
Good shooting.
Feels manly.
A new day, and Cale's back on the road selling insurance.
I like to drive, which is a good thing, because if I didn't, that would not be a good career to choose.
When Cale's knocking on doors, he's never afraid of using his height to close a deal.
Hello.
Hello, Gwen. He must be Gwen. I'm Cale. When I meet with a single lady,
Come on in.
they're not afraid of me. Now, were you surprised to see that I'm a little person?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
And you said you were from this area, and I didn't know we had anybody.
Yeah?
I pictured him as being rather young and tall, dark, and handsome. How's that?
Alrighty.
For Cale, however, there's one slice of the American dream that's missing. A wife to come home to. Cale's had plenty of girlfriends, but has yet to find a partner for life.
I would like to have a relationship, someday get married and start a family. I haven't been successful in that area yet. I've dated a lot of girls. I dated one girl for about 6 months. And so that is a hurdle, that's a struggle. I would like someone who is a true sweetheart. I really would. I mean, that's the most important thing. Obviously a pretty face. That's important too.
And until Cale finds a Mrs. Koenig, he'll continue driving 40,000 kilometers a year to close insurance deals and spending his spare time working down on the farm.
Growing up, you don't realize why your parents are making you do all this hard work, but now it pays off. Because I never was treated like I had a disability, I didn't believe I had a disability.
El Dorado County Fair, California, USA. Tonight, 8 of the toughest cowboys will try to ride a bucking bull for just 8 seconds. If they do, a big cash prize is theirs. 1'37" Charlie Too Tall West is a barrelman. It's his job to distract stampeding animals from trampling thrown riders. And 30 years of facing down bulls has left his body battered.
As far as injuries, been hit in the head before, my back. I had major back surgery in '09. Kind of give me some issues every now and then. Jam my neck bad. I'd come out of there and I didn't even know my name.
Despite his size, veteran Charlie commands the respect of California's hardened cowboys.
For Charlie, I don't know, it doesn't seem to be much of a handicap for him, being a small person. He seems to do everything that everybody else does. Just takes him more steps to do it, so.
I say he's the best that I've ever seen, to be honest with you.
But every time he enters the arena, he's taking his life in his hands. And at 50, this could be high noon for Charlie.
This is his last year. He's quitting. I don't know if he knows that or not, but he is.
Showtime. As riders mount the bulls, it's time for Charlie to show his true grit. The barrelman's job is vital. He's at the front line and has to distract the always angry bulls when a cowboy is thrown to the floor. It's an essential but risky role. This is one of the world's most dangerous sports. Injuries can be life-changing, even fatal. Sometimes these animals are so angry, the riders don't stand a chance. And the only thing protecting 50-year-old Charlie is his 30 years on the rodeo circuit and his lightweight barrel.
Well, the barrel out there is the last line of defense. The fallen rider is out in the middle of the arena. He can come and at least get it behind the barrel and give him a little line of defense, give him a breather.
Sometimes it's a very close encounter.
Your mama's a cow. You know what else? His sister's a heifer. Stop it. Every bull's like people, they've got attitudes. And some are mean, some are nice, you know. Most of them are mean. Them horns come around, they're like big baseball bats, and they break bones, or they do head injuries.
Tonight, the bulls are unbeaten. No rider stayed on for more than 8 seconds. The cash prize remains unclaimed.
Thank you, Placerville, El Dorado County Fair. You're the best in the West. We look forward to coming back next year.
And Charlie survived another 2 hours of intense rodeo action. And still buzzing after the show, thoughts of retirement are far from this barrelman's mind.
I can walk away from it and say I'm happy and say that there's other things to do in life, you know, and I want to do that. I'm going to sit down and have a cold beer now with my friends and reminisce and drive home and do it again tomorrow. Safe and sound.
For Charlie Too Tall West, it seems that giving up a life in the rodeo is going to be much harder than he thought. The UK. Charlotte Garside, who has a condition called primordial dwarfism, has left her hometown and travelled with her mum Emma to Brighton, in the south of England. They've got an appointment with a genetic scientist who has been studying Charlotte's rare condition.
It would definitely mean the world if we could get the answers to our questions.
But first, Emma's catching up with her friends Sam and Terry Johnson. Their daughter Lucy also has a form of primordial dwarfism. She's 3 years old, but is already shorter than her sister, who is 2. 6-year-old Charlotte is even smaller than both of them.
Hello.
There are thought to be less than 200 primordial dwarfs in the entire world. So for Emma, spending time with the Johnsons is a chance to share information.
I can ask her questions about Lucy and see if they're the same as what Charlotte are. And there are a lot of similarities between them, and I think we get comfort ourselves out of talking to someone who knows what we're talking about. They're a family just like us.
Like Charlotte, Lucy has had a number of serious health issues. But because she has a different form of primordial dwarfism, she's developed very differently.
Lucy's intellectually only 4 months behind an average 3-year-old.
She can talk brilliant.
She can talk,
say
she feeds herself.
She can kind of pretty much do everything, but she's just smaller.
Today, Emma's hoping for some clues to Charlotte's future development. She's come to Sussex University's Centre for Genome Damage and Stability, one of the leading centres for genetic research in the world. It was Professor Mark O'Driscoll and his colleagues who actually identified the genetic mutation which caused Charlotte's type of dwarfism. The defect is in the ATR gene, which controls and repairs DNA damage. Professor O'Driscoll is only aware of 8 people in the whole world who've shared this condition.
She's rare with a capital R. We've just not seen anything like this before. I've never had the opportunity to meet someone whose, kind of cells that we've worked on in our research.
Let me open that. Wait there a minute.
Emma's come with Lucy today for support.
Say hi.
Hey, are you jumping up?
Charlotte's intellectual capacity is a concern for Emma. An average person's skull size is dictated by brain growth. Charlotte's brain hasn't developed at a normal rate, so her skull is disproportionately small, even for her tiny body.
Charlotte has extremely delayed development. Is that common with the ATR?
The thing with the primordial dwarfism with ATR, the brain is certainly small even for her small body, actually. So it's disproportionately smaller. So it's kind of a fundamental problem in the development of the brain.
She does have a little bit of speech. Would you be able to tell me whether at some point that will actually become proper speech?
If the brain is that small, then I presume naively you've got to expect that there's going to be some kind of consequence for that. But really, I mean, it's like I say, these kids are so rare that I'm not aware of anyone who's actually studied that from that perspective.
Charlotte's growth is also a puzzle to Emma. Data is only available on the most common form of primordial dwarfism, called MOPD.
Do you actually have a maximum height that they will grow to? Because for me, Charlotte is extremely small. Can I look at having a 3 foot?
Well,
if anything, or is she just not going to grow much more than what she is?
The answer again is we don't know. You can only go, I suppose, by precedent, with MOPD. I think on average is that the height attainment is about 1 meter.
Right.
It's about 100 centimeters. So, but for ATR, we don't know. It could be different. I mean, and these things always go in a range.
Charlotte's life expectancy is what really worries Emma. One study introduced the faulty ATR gene into mice. Their lifespan was then carefully monitored.
Is there a sense of, or do you actually know what sort of life expectancy Charlotte will have?
Well, there's so few patients, and they're all children. It's just really not known. The only kind of guide we have would be a genetically engineered mouse model where someone has gone in and actually tried to create the disorder within a mouse. They found the animal didn't live as long as the wild type litter mates that had the normal ATR gene. They don't know why they died, but they died at around 4 months, whereas the lifespan of the mouse is normally something about 18 months.
The professor will continue researching to try and solve the puzzle of this rarest of genetic conditions. Meanwhile, Emma refuses to be downbeat about Charlotte's prospects.
We'll just live each day as it comes, and we'll just carry on and make Charlotte's life the best that we can for the time that we have her. When I look at her, I just see that she's my beautiful daughter, this most happiest, bubbliest child that you could ever meet. You would not even think that she's got the stuff wrong with her that she has, because she's just normal.
Manila. Perry Berry has an ambitious plan. 7 years in the making, he wants to create a fantasy-style dwarf village where little people can live and work together. Soon his grand design will be put to the vote by Manila's dwarfs.
I like the shoe house idea. It's better than the traditional kubu houses we live in.
Perry is passionate about small people's rights, even if at home he lives with 1 foot in the regular size world.
Hello, Mama! Hi! Ano luluto mo? Ito, misis ko, si Lynn. Ayan. Ano nga yung height mo, Mama?
5'2".
Oh, ako gani, 3'5 lang eh.
Okay. It doesn't matter. Height doesn't matter.
Ito yung misis ko. Ang kanilang nasasabi ay natatalinhagaan sila kung paano nangyari ang maliit at saka malaki na nagmahalan sa isa't isa. PR? Kakain na tayo.
Perry and Lynn have 4 children together.
Meron nung si Mama yung ginawang kare-kare. Dagdagan ng kanito. Yung panganay, laki, maliit din katulad ko. Pagkatapos yung sumunod at yung pangatlo, normal size na nagmana sa mama nila. Tapos yung youngest daughter ko, babae, maliit din, katulad ko. Nakita nyo naman?
Today is a big day for Perry. He's leaving Manila with his daughter to visit the site he's chosen for his dwarf village on the outskirts of the city.
Pero ano sa palagay mo, medyo malayo din ang biyahe, di ba?
Malayo sa city.
Malayo sa city, oo.
Perry hopes that in just a few years, this pineapple field will be transformed into a new dwarf community. He's hired an architect to help build his vision of the future.
So dito, baka magtatayo tayo ng mga iba-ibang klaseng mga disenyo ng bahay. Katulad halimbawa nung parang may mushroom style.
It's one of the strangest projects I've ever had. And I didn't realize that you have to consider a lot of things to design for little people.
Kahit na ultimo yung mga switches ng ilaw, yung mga doorknob, pati yung mga sa restroom, kailangan
mas mababa yung mga
mas mababa.
Perry doesn't want his dream village to be isolated from the rest of the world, just a place where life will be easier if you're a dwarf.
Una, hindi namin hininiwalay ang sarili namin sa mga normal size.
I want to be clear that we're not trying to separate ourselves from normal-sized people.
Ang talagang
the real reason why we're building this is so that the design of these houses is tailor-made, customized to our size.
Size talaga or mapa-customize.
Perry's headed back to the city. Now his dream is in the hands of the Filipino dwarf community.
Ngayon, ang susunod naman natin na gagawin, pagbubutuhan natin ito kung sino sa inyo ang sumasang-ayon dito sa pinag-usapan natin.
7 years of his life has been spent on this project. But without the support of his fellow little people, it will remain just a plan on paper.
Hindi, pero kailangan itaas natin yung mga kamay natin para kung sino, subukan natin itaas ang kamay natin kung sino pumapayag. So lahat tayo pala, mga 2021 sa oras na ito. At lahat naman tayo ay sumasang-ayon sa ating pinag-uusapan. Kaya pwede na nating umpisahan ito. Okay? Palakpakan naman natin. Ha? Ako masyado
I'm very
masaya sa
happy
oras na
right
ito
now.
dahil una, hindi ko sukat akalain
Because
na
I did not think
yung mga
that the members of the
miyembro,
organization
lahat sila
would
ay
vote in favor
nagsimuto
of the design
para
for the
dito
village.
Sa design ng village namin.
It's a landslide victory. Perry's years of dedication have paid off and made his family very proud.
Bata pa ako.
This has been my father's dream ever since I was a little boy. The way I see it, if we have our own village, it will raise the self-esteem of people like us.
Ng mga taong kagaya namin.
It gets the thumbs up from little Elvis too.
Oh, excited akong tumira doon.
I am very excited about living in the village, but my family may want to stay where they are because there are grandchildren.
Chikiting malilit din.
Perry may have won the support of the little people, but now he's got an even bigger mountain to climb, raising the hard cash to build his dream. So, to boost public awareness, he's starting with a fundraiser in a local park.
Dito mo na kayo, bilisan nyo. Kayo wala tayong oras para maka...
Sana kasi malaking tulong para sa amin to. At sana maging success.
On offer, cakes, Perry's recycled rubber crafts, and of course an audience with the king, little Elvis.
Sa kabila. Everyone! May free po kaming, pwede po magpa-picture kay Elvis. May little Elvis po kami. Remembrance kami kay Elvis.
Yung mga bisita natin, ibig ko ipaalam sa inyo na kung bakit tayo mayroong ganito kasi ito ang aming ang pinapangarap sa buhay. Gagawa kami ng village ng mga small people.
It's a little step, but the early signs are encouraging, and Perry Berry is that much closer to turning his big idea into a reality.
Napakagandang idea para sa kanila kasi para sa akin, binibigyan natin importansya din yung mga taong maliliit. Kumbaga parang sila, meron ding parang karapatan para mabuhay ng may sariling mga magandang bahay at patahimik.
Sa pangyayari na ito na maraming mga
Many people attended and took genuine interest in our project.
sa mga ginawa namin dito sa
That is why I am very, very happy.
masaya. Kaya dito nakikita natin na
Although we may be small people,
pero
our dreams and aspirations are big.
ng aming mga pangarap sa bawat isa.